Physical 100 is Netflix's newest super hit. A gaggle of svelte folks compete for 300 million won. Is that a lot? I have no idea how much money that is. Much like its darker counterpart Squid Games, Physical 100 is designed to be truly competitive between 50-kilo women and 120-kilo men. Also like Squid Games, these competitions are designed to push contestants to their absolute physical limits. Unlike Squid Games, if contestants lose in Physical 100, they don't die. They just have to smash a statue of their chest. Personally, I thought that not killing the contestants when they lost made the stakes a lot lower. But I guess I'll just have to agree to disagree with the producers on that creative decision. Right out the bat, this show throws a surprisingly profound metaphor at you. Your body stands as a physical representation of the efforts that you've pursued in your life. Indoor cyclists' superhuman efforts are visible in their... Are those even legs? Eddie Hall's massive strength is shown in his massive size. And to consider the sheer range of possibilities for your body based on your training and diet, it's pretty interesting. Physical 100 presents this idea with the most melodramatic metaphor possible, though. A bodybuilder literally chiseling his body from stone. This show is simultaneously constantly exciting and the slowest paced thing I've ever seen. In the first episode, contestants walk into a room filled with statues of everyone from navel to neck. So you'd imagine they're going to take 5 to 10 minutes to give a cursory introduction of all of the contestants before jumping into the first competition, right? Wrong. 15 minutes? Wrong. 20 minutes? Wrong. This show spends 27 minutes introducing competitors to each other before getting into the first competition. As each new bunch of contestants walks into the room, all of the people within ooh and awe at the new contestants entering.
Wow.
But not only do they show all the contestants being amazed at the new entrants, they actually replay people being amazed sometimes.
Whoa. Whoa.
I'd also imagine it's a bit more exciting watching this sequence if you're Korean because you actually know who these people are. Who is that?
짐승은 말이다 걸어오는 것 같습니다. 산에서 호랑이를 마주치면 이런 느낌이 나니까.
Who is that? This show is designed for maximal dopamine. As the Stanford professor Andrew Huberman has said, dopamine is associated with motivation, drive, and craving.
Motivation, drive, and craving.
Like I said, motivation, drive, and craving. This show is a desire machine. It's the build-up to the drop of a dubstep song. They'll dangle a cookie in front of your face, and the second you say, I want that cookie, they'll switch scenes, and then you have to wait 5 minutes for that cookie. I like a cookie. They also end every episode not at the end of each competition, but right before the conclusion of the competition, so you have to start the next episode to see how it resolves. The first competition in Physical 100 is all competitors just have to hang from a bar as long as possible. Some friends and I tried this, and it is uncomfortable. And go. Right from the get-go, Victor biffed them out, which put him at a big disadvantage. I tried to copy Joanna's form, but this didn't go so well. While Victor threw a temper tantrum, Joanna was calm as a Hindu cow. Me, not so much. We all pushed through the next 30 incredibly painful seconds, until Victor's forearms could take it no more. Then it was just Joanna and me. At around the 90-second mark, my arms were hurting too much, so I dropped down. This was the beginning of the end. Joanna didn't even look slightly fazed. I focused on my breathing and pushed through the pain. But at around the 2-minute and 8-second mark, I fell off, and Joanna was crowned the grand champion.
I don't mind. My strategy was to lose first so I can conserve my energy for the next challenge.
I don't know if it's a Korean thing or just the contestants, but these are the most easily impressed people on Earth. Like, can you imagine watching this show and reacting as emphatically as these people? Oh!
와야지.
Oh!
잡히면 안 돼! 잡히면 안 돼!
I also love Korean smack talk. Watch this clip of Conor McGregor talking smack before a mixed martial arts fight. Now listen to two Physical 100 contestants talking smack.
저 선배님 죄송하지만 제 게임도 복싱으로도 이길 것 같습니다.
Woo, ferocious right there.
활발하다.
겁대가리 없이.
대한민국 가장 센 남자 하재용의 자존심을 보여드리겠습니다.
Are you just gonna take that?
대한민국에서 가장 힘든 사람 이기면은 좋을 것 같습니다.
Call me crazy, but I assume that Korean adult men have hair on their chest. But I realized like 8 episodes in that every single guy in the show has had his chest waxed before this.
시작하겠습니다.
I appreciate the attention to detail, Netflix. And while I'm not exactly an expert when it comes to Korean shows, in fact, you could say I've been kind of out of the loop recently. And by that I mean the closest thing I've ever watched to a Korean show is the Mr. Beast recreation of Squid Games. So I'm not really sure if this is an idiosyncrasy of this show or just Korean editing in general. But they'll replay a thing multiple times with audio instead of just showing it in slow motion. And this is so weird. I'm not here to argue that Physical 100 should be considered on par with Nietzsche's philosophical works or Stanley Kubrick's films. Like 50% of this show is contestants telling the audience facts that are painfully obvious. But the competition design is so good. They've picked competitions that are conceivably competitive between different kinds of physiques and men and women. And when they start competing as teams, strategy becomes just as important as speed and strength, which leads to some interesting results. There are definitely some people with obvious advantages in this competition. Like, who do you think is going to be able to hold up this 100-kilogram stone for longer? This 60-kilogram woman or this 120-kilogram man who's done strongman training for years on end? But on the whole, these challenges were thoughtfully designed to maximize competitiveness. In my heart of hearts, I hope they just replace the Olympics with Physical 100. No one's gonna argue about testosterone levels of trans female athletes if every competition is mixed gender in the first place. Also, even without the melodramatic editing, this series of competitions is fun, creative, and exciting to watch. It's just brilliant. But at the same time, watching the show feels like eating a family-sized bag of candy bars. You can taste that it's been engineered to make you want more, even once you've hit the point that your stomach kind of hurts. Nestle's goal is to maximize sales, and they do that by designing a product that leaves you wanting more whether it's good for you or not. And Netflix has applied this exact same formula to the editing of this series. Their goal is to maximize the amount of time you spend watching Netflix. That's literally the North Star metric they chase. So of course the cheapest way to do this is to take a show that should be 5 hours of content and stretch it out to 10 hours. But if half the material is vapid filler, how do you get people to sit through this? Well, remember the dopamine? Build up to the exciting conclusion of a competition, and instead of showing us the results immediately, cut to vapid filler. This way Netflix can squeeze in 2 minutes of packaging peanuts while we wait for the actual goods inside the box. In David Foster Wallace's Infinite Jest, James O. Incandesza creates a film that is so entertaining that anyone who watches it will be so mesmerized by the sheer entertainment value of this film that they will watch it until they literally die. Watching Physical 100, I felt as if I were experiencing the product of editors and producers working towards this very goal. This show isn't optimized for entertainment value or quality. It's optimized to keep you watching as long as possible. And while a part of me feels that there's some sinister force overtaking entertainment here, another part of me just thinks this is entertaining as hell.